For decades, science treated consciousness as a byproduct of brain activity. The assumption was simple: when the brain fires, consciousness appears. But modern research is revealing something much more complex. Consciousness may not be produced by the brain at all. Researchers have discovered that the brain filters far more information than it creates. Your senses take in millions of signals every second, yet your awareness receives only a fraction of them. This suggests that consciousness is not generated internally. The brain acts more like a receiver than a manufacturer. Studies in neuroscience show that awareness continues even when major parts of the brain go offline. People under anesthesia report vivid perception. Individuals in near-death states describe accurate events happening around them. These findings challenge the idea that consciousness depends entirely on neural activity. Quantum physics adds another layer to the mystery. Particles change behavior when observed. Information collapses into form only when awareness interacts with it. This means consciousness is woven into the fabric of physical reality. Psychology provides additional clues. Your intuition processes complex patterns instantly, long before your thinking mind catches up. Your emotional system detects signals in the environment without logical input. Awareness operates independently of deliberate thought. Biology also reveals that living organisms behave as if they are aware. Plants respond to intention, bacteria communicate through chemical signals, and animals sense danger before it appears. Awareness seems to be present at every level of life, not just in the human brain. This suggests consciousness is a fundamental property, not a late evolutionary accident. Science is beginning to converge on a surprising idea. Consciousness may not emerge from physical processes. Physical processes may emerge from consciousness. Your awareness might be interacting with reality in ways far deeper than previously believed. This shift is only beginning, but its implications are enormous. The traditional view assumed the brain creates consciousness the way a light bulb creates light. But new evidence shows the brain behaves more like a filter that reduces a much larger field of awareness into usable signals. This means your awareness may extend far beyond what the brain allows you to perceive. The brain organizes experience. It does not generate it. Neuroscientists discovered that the brain removes most incoming information before it ever reaches awareness. This selective filtering is not a limitation. It is a survival strategy. If you processed all information at once, the system would overload. The brain protects you from too much reality at once. This filtering effect becomes clear in altered states of consciousness. When the normal filters weaken, people report expanded perception, vivid insights, and strong feelings of connection. These experiences suggest the field of awareness is much larger than your everyday focus. The brain restricts the signal rather than producing it. Studies on memory also support this idea. Memories are not stored like files. They are reconstructed each time you recall them. This reconstruction relies on attention, belief, and emotional state. Your brain rebuilds reality based on the filters you carry. Perception follows the same rule. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world as your neural filters allow. Your experiences are shaped by expectations, biases, and emotional patterns. The filter determines what becomes real for you. This explains why two people can experience the same event and walk away with entirely different interpretations. Their filters are not the same, their past is not the same, and their emotional state is not the same. Awareness enters through different pathways depending on the person. The brain personalizes a universal signal. Science is beginning to recognize this possibility. Consciousness may be fundamental, broad, and continuous, while the brain is the tuner that selects a narrow band of it. Your awareness could be accessing far more information than your filters reveal. The question is not whether consciousness exists, but how much of it you are allowed to perceive. Quantum physics is revealing patterns that point directly toward a deeper role for consciousness. Subatomic particles behave differently depending on whether they are being observed. Possibilities remain open until awareness interacts with them. This suggests consciousness influences physical outcomes at the smallest scale. The double-slit experiment is the clearest example. Particles act like waves when unobserved, spreading into multiple possibilities. But the moment measurement is introduced, they behave like solid objects. Awareness appears to collapse probability into form. This collapse is not just a mathematical idea. It shows that reality is sensitive to attention. What is observed becomes structured, and what is ignored remains potential. Consciousness interacts with physical systems directly. Entanglement adds another layer. Particles separated by large distances respond as if connected by an invisible field. Their states change simultaneously, ignoring physical limitations. This mirrors how awareness can sense information without physical contact. Some researchers argue that consciousness behaves like a non-local field. It does not sit inside the brain or remain confined to the body. It appears to move through space, detect patterns, and connect information instantly. Awareness functions more like a signal than a biological feature. This non-local behavior aligns with human experience. You often sense situations before they happen, feel emotions from others without words, and receive insights without linear reasoning. These experiences do not fit into a closed brain model. They match the behavior of a field that extends beyond physical boundaries. Quantum science is beginning to catch up with what humans have felt for centuries. Consciousness is not contained by the brain, limited by distance, or restricted by time. It interacts with the quantum structure of reality itself. And this interaction may be the key to understanding what consciousness truly is. Modern research is revealing that the body behaves less like a generator of consciousness and more like an antenna designed to tune into it. Your nervous system is structured to detect signals, translate them, and turn them into experience. This design suggests consciousness is already present, waiting for a receiver to interpret it. The body functions as the interface. The heart is one of the strongest receivers. It generates an electromagnetic field far larger than the brain and reacts to information before conscious thought kicks in. Emotional intuition often appears here first. The heart responds to the signal before the mind understands it. The gut acts as another perceptual center. Its neural network operates semi-independently, influencing mood, instinct, and decision-making. Many intuitive reactions originate in the gut long before they rise to awareness. It processes subtle information continuously. The brain then integrates these signals. Instead of creating consciousness, it organizes incoming sensory, emotional, and intuitive data into coherent perception. The brain filters, interprets, and shapes the raw signal. It works as the processing unit, not the source. Even the skin participates in perception. It detects micro-temperature changes, electromagnetic shifts, and subtle vibrations in the environment. These signals influence emotional states and behavioral responses. Your awareness reads more through the body than through thought. This sensory system works together as a unified receiver. Signals come in through physical senses, emotional cues, and intuitive impressions. Awareness gathers all this information instantly. Your body is the antenna through which consciousness experiences the world. This view changes everything about what it means to be aware. If the body receives consciousness rather than creates it, then awareness is not limited by biology. It extends beyond the body, guides the body, and interacts with reality at multiple levels. Science is starting to recognize the depth of this connection. Emotion is often misunderstood as a simple reaction, but neuroscience shows that emotion is a central part of how consciousness processes information. Emotion assigns value to experience, determines what you remember, and guides what you pay attention to. It acts as a priority system for awareness. Without emotion, perception would be flat and meaningless. Every emotional state changes the way your brain filters reality. Fear narrows perception and pushes the nervous system into survival mode. Calmness widens perception and increases sensitivity to subtle signals. Emotion shapes the version of reality you experience. Research also shows that emotion influences the timing of intuition. When your emotional state aligns with the environment, your ability to detect patterns improves dramatically. This is why you sense danger quickly or recognize an opportunity before thinking about it. Emotion amplifies intuitive signals. Meaning emerges through this emotional framework. Meaning is not found in the world. It is generated by consciousness interpreting events. Two people can live the same moment and walk away with opposite interpretations. Meaning is the signature your awareness leaves on experience. Your emotional system also predicts outcomes before your rational mind forms conclusions. It integrates memory, pattern recognition, and sensory input faster than conscious thought. This predictive process guides behavior in ways you are not fully aware of. Emotion works as the early warning and early guidance system. This interaction between emotion and awareness reveals that consciousness is not simply observing events. It is constantly adjusting perception based on your internal state. Your level of awareness becomes clearer when your emotional system is regulated. Coherence creates accurate perception. Science is beginning to acknowledge that emotion is not a side effect of consciousness. It is one of the core mechanisms through which consciousness understands itself and the world. Emotion shapes attention, guides intuition, and gives meaning to every experience. It is one of the strongest signals within the field of awareness. Science is beginning to uncover evidence that consciousness is not isolated within individual brains. Humans influence each other through subtle, emotional, neurological, and energetic signals. These signals synchronize when people share space, attention, or intention. This creates a field of collective awareness. Research on brainwave synchronization shows that groups can enter similar mental states at the same time. Meditators align their rhythms without speaking. Musicians synchronize brain activity during performance. Shared awareness forms when people are connected. Emotional states also spread quickly through social groups. Calmness stabilizes a room and reduces tension. Fear amplifies itself and triggers group-wide stress responses. These patterns reveal that consciousness is highly contagious. Studies on empathy show that the brain mirrors the emotions of others instantly. Your nervous system responds to subtle changes in expression, voice, and presence. This mirroring creates emotional resonance between people. Connection forms through shared internal signals. Experiments in remote intention also show unusual patterns. People influence each other's emotional states even without direct communication. Some studies show measurable effects on physiological responses. Awareness may extend farther than physical boundaries suggest. If consciousness can synchronize across individuals, then the mind may function like a node in a larger network. Each person contributes energy, emotion, and intention to the field around them. Your internal state becomes part of the environment others experience. The collective mind is shaped by every individual. Science is slowly recognizing this deeper connection. The boundaries between minds are far more porous than once believed. Human consciousness interacts, synchronizes, and influences the shared field continuously. You participate in the collective mind every moment you are aware. Science is reaching a turning point. Researchers are realizing that consciousness does not fit neatly into traditional models of the brain. It behaves like a field, a signal, and a form of intelligence all at once. This shift is opening new questions about the nature of reality itself. Future research will explore consciousness not as a product of biology, but as a fundamental property of the universe. This means awareness may exist at every scale, from subatomic particles to complex human networks. It challenges the idea that the brain is the starting point. The mind may be tapping into something larger. Technology is already moving in this direction. Brain-computer interfaces, advanced neuroimaging, and quantum sensors are revealing patterns science could not see before. We are beginning to measure the subtle signals behind thought and awareness. Tools are catching up to the complexity of consciousness. This next era of research will likely unify multiple fields. Physics, neuroscience, psychology, and information theory will need to work together. No single discipline can explain consciousness alone. The phenomenon requires a new framework. As models evolve, science will need to rethink what it means to be human. Awareness may not be inside the brain, and identity may not be defined by physical boundaries. Consciousness may extend far beyond the body, connecting people in ways we are only beginning to understand. This perspective changes everything. The more we study consciousness, the more familiar it feels. Insight, intuition, empathy, and connection all point toward a deeper intelligence operating beneath the surface. Science is learning what humans have sensed for thousands of years. Awareness is not an accident. It is a fundamental structure of reality. The journey ahead is expansive. We are not discovering something new. We are rediscovering what has always been present. Human consciousness is far older, broader, and more powerful than once believed. And science is finally starting to see the depth of what it truly is.